This is the Nespresso VertuoPlus Deluxe coffee and espresso maker, and I wanted to talk about it because it quietly took over my mornings. I've been bouncing between a basic drip machine and a Keurig, and I was missing that cafe-style cup without the fuss of a big espresso setup. After a few months of daily use, I've got a pretty clear picture of what this thing nails and where it can be annoying. In its category, it sits in that sweet spot for people who want better flavor than a typical single serve, with way less effort than a traditional espresso machine. It isn't the cheapest way to make coffee, and the pods do lock you into the Vertuo ecosystem, but it makes both a solid mug and a nice espresso-style shot without me thinking about grind size, tamping, or dialing anything in. If you're the type who values consistency and a clean counter more than tweaking every variable, this makes sense. My day with it is as simple as it gets. I tap the top button, it warms up in about 20 seconds. I lift the motorized head with a light touch, drop in a capsule, close it, and press. It reads the capsule and just does its thing. That motorized head sounds like a small detail, but when I'm half awake, not fighting a stiff lever is oddly satisfying. The brew itself has a distinctive high-speed whir for a short burst. Then a thick, velvety crema rolls out into the cup. The first sip is what hooked me. It's smoother than what I used to get from my Keurig, with a fuller body and less bitterness. I switch between the single espresso for an afternoon pick-me-up and the larger coffee size in the morning. The adjustable tray slides up and down so I can fit a small demi-tasse or a taller mug without splashing. I also use it over ice when it's hot out, and it doesn't taste watered down because the brew is pretty concentrated. Temperature-wise, it's hot enough to drink right away without burning my tongue. If I'm making a latte, I heat or froth milk separately and it comes together nicely. The water tank is one of those little quality-of-life things I didn't think I'd care about, but I do. It's big and it swivels, so I can tuck it to the side or behind, depending on where I place the machine. I don't refill it every day, even with 2 coffees. Used pods automatically eject into the rear container, and I only have to empty it every few days. Daily cleanup is basically a quick rinse of the drip tray and a wipe where the spouts hit. No messy grounds, no filter basket. On busy mornings, that matters. The taste has been reliably consistent. With a Keurig, some cups were decent, some were flat. With this, I get that creamy cap every time. It's not a straight substitute for a manual espresso machine, but for pod coffee, it's the best flavor I've had at home. I've made it for friends who usually take cream and sugar, and they've been surprised by how good it is black. There are quirks. It makes a short, noticeable whirring spin when it brews. It's not obnoxious, but you'll hear it. The descaling process works fine, but the button sequence isn't super intuitive. I had to keep the manual handy the first time, and now I just set a reminder every couple of months. Pods are the ongoing cost, and you're basically married to Vertuo capsules. I tried a couple of capsule hacks and decided it wasn't worth the hassle. The recycling program is legit though. I fill the bag and drop it off when it's full, so I don't feel like I'm throwing metal in the trash. I've seen people mention leaks online. I haven't had a major issue, but I did get a small puddle once because the tank wasn't seated just right. I pressed it down firmly and it didn't happen again. Now I make sure the tank clicks in before I brew. Beyond that, it's been reliable. I use it every day and it still opens and closes with that smooth motorized motion that feels premium without me babying it. Compared to what I used before, this is a big upgrade in the cup. My old Keurig was faster than drip, but the coffee tasted thin. This produces a richer, more aromatic cup, and the crema adds a texture that makes it feel more like something I'd get in a cafe. I also had an original line Nespresso a while back. That one made punchier espresso shots and ran a touch hotter, but it wasn't great for a full mug. The VertuoPlus Deluxe wins for versatility. I can do a proper small shot or a bigger coffee without feeling like I'm settling. When I borrowed a friend's more expensive semi-automatic espresso machine, the shots were fantastic, but it turned my counter into a project. Grinding, tamping, purging, cleaning. Great on weekends, too much for every day. The Vertuo gets me 80 to 85% of that cafe feeling in a fraction of the time and effort. Value-wise, it's about how much you care about convenience and consistency. The machine itself feels well-made and easy to live with, and the coffee quality is a real step up from most single-serve options. The thing you pay for over time is the capsules. If you drink multiple cups a day and cost per cup is your main concern, a drip brewer or a refillable pod system will be cheaper. If you want push-button drinks that actually taste good and you don't want to manage beans, grind settings, and cleanup, this is a solid buy. I keep reaching for it because it removes the friction from making something I actually look forward to drinking. I'm happy with it, and I plan to keep using it as my daily driver. I'd recommend it to anyone who wants cafe-style coffee at home without the learning curve. If you're curious about the different Vertuo pod sizes, how I store them, or you want to know which capsules I keep restocking, drop a question. I'll get back to you with what's worked for me. Please check the comments section for detailed information about the Nespresso VertuoPlus Deluxe coffee and espresso maker.